Evan is his name, Deficient is his game. He's my co host, and today we're covering the Clone Wars Season 3, Episodes 4, 21, and 22. Both of today's stories ask the same question in very different ways. What happens when the people you're supposed to rely on can't help you? Whether it's Pantora waiting on the Republic or Ahsoka stranded without the Jedi Order, these episodes force their characters to decide whether. What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? I hear you giggling as I'm trying to read this. Huh? Trying to do
Pantora waiting on the Republic.
Well.
Also, I know you said season 4, episodes 21 and 22, not season 3.
Did I?
Yep, you sure did.
Did I say episode?
You said season 4, episodes 21 and 22.
Did I? Because it's season 3, episodes 4, 21, and 22. Did I say that?
Season 3, episodes 4. What?
You're making me need to restart again.
Wait, hold on though. I'm confused. Season 3, episodes 421. Why is it 421? Why is it not just episode 21?
So 4 was one of those stragglers that we did not. It was just kind of around.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I was so confused. The whole part of Pantora waiting on the Republic makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I was so thrown off, because I heard season 3, 4, 20, and then in my mind you said season 4, and then you brought up Pantora, and I was like, what the fuck does Pantora have to do with any of this?
Yeah.
It's all making so much more sense now. I understand now. Yep, we're there.
Yeah. I'll probably splice together something. Maybe with this, but I'll redo the intro just in case I have to use it.
Yeah. I'm reading through just... No, I'll save it for the actual episode. That way it's in there, yeah. Because yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Evan is his name, Deficient is his game. He's my co-host, and today we're covering the Clone Wars Season 3, Episodes 4, 21, and 22. Both of today's stories ask us the same question in very different ways. What happens when the people you're supposed to rely on can't help you? Whether it's Pantora waiting on the Republic or Ahsoka stranded without the Jedi Order, these episodes force their characters to decide whether they'll be victims of circumstance or take control of their own fate.
Yeah.
These are the episodes we're going to be covering. Evan, what do you think of these episodes before we dive into some discussion questions around them?
Episode 4 is one of those Senate episodes. It's like a half Senate episode because there is some kind of action and stuff involved. But it's one of those Senate episodes that I just kind of get bored with real fast within the Clone Wars show. But it has some importance into like giving us more of a glean into the corruption of the Republic and everything going on there. So in that sense, it has a solid place here, but I do get bored of it pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, and I'm the same way with any of the Senate episodes. Like sometimes it's not the fact that it's in the Senate. I feel like it's just in the Senate around the characters the Clone Wars chooses to focus on. I just don't really see. I don't know.
I don't even know if it's the characters for me. I think it's just almost anything on Coruscant. When it spends too much time on Coruscant in a single episode, I get bored.
That's fair. For me, it's the characters because I always go back once again to Andor. There's a lot around Mon Mothma. and there's a good amount in Coruscant, a good amount in Senate stuff, and it is super interesting stuff. I feel like the dialogue is so heavy and like actually is like as things are going, you're kind of it makes you think. This stuff,
Right.
I don't care, and I don't know if it's I don't fully know what it is, but I think it's primarily the characters. Um, it very well could also just be how this stuff seems kind of in this episode at least kind of meaningless.
Yeah. 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 And I
But
mean, like I
um,
said, though, like I think it fits in the Clone Wars just because, again, it alludes to more, like it shows more of the corruption of the Republic or their inability to
oh, that's
act,
yeah.
So like in that aspect, yeah, it has a place, to highlight some of that stuff some more, but I
Yeah.
feel like at this point we've gotten quite a
Now,
few of those. It's starting to feel a little repetitive.
yeah. Now I will say what there was I don't have really anything to say discussion wise about this episode. I have a good amount, at least three questions
Hmm.
about the last 2/3 of what we're talking about today. But something I did note is when they are hiding, when Ahsoka is, and she's holding, is this the right one? Yeah, I think it is. When she's like using the force to hold the other person that's like escaping with them
Yeah.
against the ceiling, and she's kind of like floating, like, and they're like walking around under her. It just reminded me of initially the Spider-Man scene where like the blood drips and Green
Yeah.
Goblin's like, oh, but then it also
Like the
then
OG
made
Spider-Man.
right.
Yeah.
But then it also made me think of, have you ever seen the superhero movie?
Yes. It's been a while.
That scene, except it's him needing to piss. It's just just the pee dripping down, and then it's just like a freaking sprinkler. And yeah. Anyway, it just
Oh,
made me laugh.
jeez. See, with this episode, I had a genuine question that confuses me with this episode
Why is it here?
because I did a quick read through on Wikipedia just to refresh myself because for the one viewer we have,
Hey,
I
future me.
and I watched the other two episodes today, but I didn't realize we were covering this episode today as well.
Yeah.
So I had to do like a refresher on the episode. And while reading through the description of it, the kind of the recap, whatever you want to call it, for the episode, Wikipedia said that the Jedi cannot get involved with the situation of Pantora because while the Trade Federation is blockading the planet and Dooku is trying to do his stuff, why? I can't remember if the episode ever explains why the Jedi cannot get involved.
Breaking
Like
a little bit of the fourth wall here. To
like
our
the Jedi
discussion. It's not even
know.
break. Behind the scenes a little bit. I watched these episodes at 4x speed because I did not care about them and I just wanted a refresher. So I don't know.
Because my thing with it though too is the Jedi know the Trade Federation is funding the Separatists, right? And quite frankly, Star Wars doesn't care about war crimes that we in our world as we know it today have that we consider war crimes. Star Wars doesn't care about that. They commit so many what we would call war crimes, time and time again. Looking at you, Anakin, and looking at you, R2.
Yeti Mundi.
Yeah. And so like, they don't care about war crimes as far as we deem war crimes, right? They know that this banking clan is funding the enemy of the Republic. The banking clan continues to claim neutrality, but when you're funding the enemy, it doesn't matter if you're funding me, you're helping my enemy, you are my enemy. So why can't they do anything about this? And that also didn't seem to stop them in The Phantom Menace when they intervened on behalf of Naboo when the banking clan was blockading Naboo. So, like, why does Ahsoka have to go in on, like, a personal mission, a personal quest, you know, taking some leave, some time off, in order to go look into this? Why can't the Jedi just get involved? I don't... That's something that really bothers me as well.
Yeah. I think my final note regarding this that sums it up for me is this episode makes me not care about the Clone Wars.
Oh.
Anyway, 321 and 322. I like those. I don't like those episodes. It's still trash, but I think there's more to talk about.
There is more to talk about in 321, 322 for sure. Because truthfully, these two episodes, this whole arc is, though I don't really care for it, it is a unique arc within the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's really another arc that I could say is fairly similar to this. This is like, it feels like a condensed, and somewhat rushed. I feel like the only thing that comes to my mind is like Hunger Games, but it's not even quite Hunger Games because, you know, they're not like fighting for weapons and stuff, but they're fighting for survival. You know, they're for the most part in the Hunger Games, they're there against their will. They didn't want to be part of the Hunger Games, and here none of them are there, you know, willingly. You know, it's just a fight for survival.
Yeah.
One of my biggest gripes about this arc, though, is why do all three of the Padawans, not even Padawans, the younglings, because I don't even think they were Padawans yet, the three that Ahsoka meets on the island when she gets kidnapped, why do all three of them sound like full-grown adults?
Yeah. So I have a few notes about this, and then I want to play my ad. So, firstly, in the episode, the premise is that Ahsoka is captured by Trandoshans. They basically have gathered up a bunch of kids and some... Actually, I don't think we even see adults.
We see like 4 in total before Chewie shows up, and 2 of them get gunned down immediately, and then the 2 others are walking through the woods, and Ahsoka's like, "We gotta help them," and then they get gunned down immediately.
Right.
You know, so they don't even do anything.
So these things are like I hate the creatures, but they are a race of basically like hunters, I feel like, because what they do is they have kidnapped people and they take them to one of their neighboring moons or whatever, another planet, I don't remember, but they release them and then they hunt them all down. And I think we commented on this when we covered the Book of Boba Fett, because when Boba Fett becomes the new what did he call it? What was the...
Major Domo?
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't... I thought it started with a D, but hold on. Boba Fett becomes the what of Tatooine? The Daimyo.
Daimyo, not Domo.
Daimyo. Well, anyway, when he becomes that, a Trandoshan comes in and offers him a pelt. It's a freaking Wookiee pelt.
Yeah.
So they often kidnap Wookiees and other creatures, other races, and just hunt them for sport.
Well, and I even did a quick little Google search here as well. Just the history between like the Wookiees and the Trandoshans, because in this arc too, if you look in like the background as the Trandoshans are talking, you can see a bunch of Wookiee pelts just like hanging from coat hangers. It looks like, you know, like they're just all over the place. And so, I mean, just a quick little thing. the history of the Wookiees and Trandoshans is a generations-long blood feud. Because both species share the same solar system, with Kashyyyk and Trandosha being neighboring planets, they've fought over territory, resources, and freedom for centuries. So this is like this isn't just like they see them as prey. It's like these two races hate each other,
and
you even see that in you even see that in Book of Boba Fett with the Wookiee like ex-gladiator that Boba gets on the side, and like you see
Black
him.
Chrysanthemum.
Yes, Black Chrysanthemum. He sees some Trandoshans over there, and he's like all pissed off and has to go over and pick a fight just because he's mad that they're there. Not even that they necessarily did something to agitate him. It was just their very presence ticked him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in this episode too, when Ahsoka or whoever it was like, don't kill them. It's not the Jedi way. I think if you're being hunted by a bunch of giant lizards, screw the Jedi way. Abandon your morals and kill these stupid things if you can.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only part where I would agree with Ahsoka in that is she says like, don't kill him out of hatred. I think was like the big part of it. I don't think she was necessarily saying don't kill them, but don't do it out of hatred.
Yeah, and given the scene that she says that, I could see that being the case.
But the rest of it, though, I completely agree. Like, don't spare these guys. They're trying to kill you. It's like fight to survive. If you have to kill them, kill them. Just like, I think it's just more of like a don't let the dark side take over.
Yeah, I didn't think about that element of it. And part of me is kind of like, still okay. But I can kind of see that element like more. Yeah. I really wonder how Chewbacca got his stupid hide captured.
Well, and he doesn't have a weapon, but he still has that like bandolier that we see in the original trilogy that he always wears. So it's like they took his weapon, but not this thing that could probably have some.
Well, the animation had to have some sort of reference point to know which Wookiee he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like 3 minutes later, say his name.
Yeah. Also, him assembling the distress signal from all the ship parts, part of me feels like, no. Part of me is like, you gotta be kidding me.
See, that I agree with you in the sense of he got that set up so fast. Like in a night. Now, if he had like a week or 2 weeks or a month and he's tinkering and like, getting wires put together and setting up this whole thing, maybe, but like in a night, come on. We watched that ship blow up. Like, come on now. But granted, they only have like 25 minutes to get the plot moving along. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah. The other note that I had regarding this is that a recurring theme with Anakin being very quick to take on the blame for things out of his control. I should have been there. I should have been better. And it's just like, dude, you had nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm. The only way you could have had that avoided was not having Ahsoka do the task that she needed to do so you guys could take the base at the beginning of the episode.
It's not like you sent her to do that thinking this was going to happen. Right. Or you see a Trandoshan lurking and you're just like, hey, go over near that guy. It's like you're taking necessary actions. It was out of your control what happened. But he does that quite often. And I think that it is kind of showing more of like his emotional struggle with, well, first off, just I feel like emotions, but the things that end up spiraling and becoming, more of a what leads him further down the dark side path.
Yeah, well, and I'd even say too, like, in moderation, the way that he takes on blame or responsibility, like it's a good thing. It's an indication of a good leader. But like you
Yeah,
kind
I
of said,
mean,
like he's doing it
being aware.
too much. He's letting it affect him too much. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like any military leader today, where like they feel the weight of the troops that
Hmm.
were lost on a command that they gave, and it's like, yes, like you do need to keep that in your mind, take account of like loss of life and risk versus reward and all that kind of stuff. But it's like if you let that stuff overwhelm you, you get Anakin, Revenge of the Sith Anakin. Everything goes down the drain. Terrible things happen.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to try and find that balance, and Anakin's definitely struggling to find that balance for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Plo Koon in this episode kind of reminds Anakin of that too, though.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the comment of like, maybe the point of this is for you to not find her, but trust that you've trained her well and she'll come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, before we get into a few of discussion questions that I've come up with and found.
Yeah. And as well, we'll do the ad real quick, but after the ad, I've got a couple
do your
notes
ad
as well
quick.
that I wanted to. No, we'll do your ad. I don't have an ad.
No, you do though. Because it's me. It's your. It doesn't matter.
I've got a couple notes after the ad before we get into the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, just real quick ad break.
I hear music.
It did it again.
What? What? Oh no.
It saved the wrong track.
Oh no.
I may still have it. Hold on. Shut up.
Well, while you look into that, I'll go over my my notes that I took. So I mean, I already hit one of my notes was all the younglings sounding like adults. A couple things I did notice throughout both of these episodes, as it has the Trandoshans like talking and whatnot, was we already commented on a lot of Wookiee skins kind of in their fortress ship. They're in like their main area. But I did notice on the back of the leader's like chair, his throne, there is the pelt of a wampa on the back of his throne. Which, for anybody that's like, what the heck is a wampa? Is that giant snow creature in Empire Strikes Back that captures Luke on Hoth.
Oh, I did notice that.
Yeah. So I noticed that. And then behind the throne, there's actually a Rancor head mounted on the wall. And then there was two other heads mounted on the walls to the left and the right of the Rancor head. The one to the left, I wasn't sure what it was. It looked like it kind of looked like one of the giant fish in Phantom Menace, the one that has like the elongated mouth with the like the fangs at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. And the other one though was the head of that rhino-like creature that Anakin is fighting in Attack of the Clones in the Geonosian arena. They had one of those heads back there on the wall as well.
Oh.
Where it had like the central horn and then the two on the sides. Yeah. And so when I was watching the episodes today, I was trying to pay attention to some of the smaller details, not really the characters in front of us talking, but like the environment around them. And there was a couple trophies I noticed that the Trandoshans had. Excuse me. Another note that I had written down was the Trandoshans are like lizard people, but when they're hunting, they're like sniffing the air like dogs, like hunting dogs.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird. And then when the Wookiees show up to save Chewie and Ahsoka and the younglings, the ship that the other Wookiees show up in is the one from it's the bounty hunters from the Mulan episode.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anybody who's wondering, Mulan episode, it's the one where Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka team up with the bounty hunters. They train the village people to fight back against the pirates and Hondo and Akka.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that we had a little cameo of them showing up again, which that part of it I thought was kind of cool. It just kind of shows that they're not forgotten. Those bounty hunters are still operating. The producers didn't just say, here they are for an episode and we'll never see them again. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Within the arc.
I'm going to mute real quick and edit this.
Okay.
And I'll just play it for you.
And my final note that I had was when the head dude's son dies, he gets like force pushed off of a tree and lands on the ground, and a spike goes through his back and like out his gut. And granted, this is a kids show, so like they can't show any blood or like guts or gore or anything. But if this was like a live action, like rated R TV show, that would have been one gory death. Because if you pause it, it just shows it for a second. If you pause it, you can see the spike sticking out of his gut.
Yeah.
Like all the way through.
Yeah.
But again, because it's a kids show, they have to, keep it PG. But yeah, like if this was like live action rated R, there would have been like guts strewn on it and blood and gore and everything. And
yeah. All right, I'm ready for our ad.
Sounds good. That was all of my notes. So after that, we can go right into questions and stuff.
Sounds good. Here we are. This episode is brought to you by Evan's very own private island, where you can come and play sports, shoot bows, and become a predator to unexpecting youths. Unleash the hunter within at Evan's Club for Sports, Archery, and Murder. That's CSAM by Evan. Wait a minute.
Oh, gosh.
Don't you love that acronym, Evan?
Oh, goodness gracious. See, you're basically calling me Epstein, is what's happening here. That's what's going on. I don't know if all the hunting and sports happened on Epstein's Island, but that last thing...
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm waiting for a future ad to be like Evan's list. Like Evan's flight records type based ad is what I'm waiting for. The next one.
Well, anyway. So is this the episode where Ahsoka truly becomes a leader instead of just Anakin's Padawan?
just going right into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. I don't think this is the episodes that Ahsoka truly becomes a leader.
Why?
I feel like she didn't do a whole lot of leading.
I think that this could be an episode that's like one of the building blocks.
Yeah.
But it certainly is not the one where she became a leader.
Right.
Yeah. Because she kind of took the lead on like getting these guys out of there. Kinda, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would say this is one of the final, like you said, building blocks for her being a leader. But again, I don't think this is the arc or the two episodes where she has become a leader, stepped fully into the role. Part of that being because we've seen her lead in the past. Like there's the whole arc with Christosis where she leads the attack on the blockade and she's giving orders and, all that. and so it's like, this is an important step, but this ain't,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call
So-
her a leader yet.
So, jumping ahead, just thinking of the entirety of Ahsoka's stories, what point do you think is the final piece that makes her become a leader?
That's a good question.
Or I guess to back up a little bit, would you say that she is a leader?
I don't think by these episodes that she has become a leader. She's on her way to being a leader. She's on her way
Right.
to leadership, to understanding the weight of that and everything. But I'm trying to think of like future arcs and stuff that she's in. Because like we see her taking on a little bit of leadership in the next arc, the Water Wars arc, right? Like she takes on some leadership with like protecting the prince and that, and fighting and whatnot, and kind of taking on some responsibilities given to her there. After that, you have like Umbara, but she's not even in Umbara. Truthfully, I don't have like a particular episode or scene or arc where I'm like, that's it, that's the one, But by the time you reach like season 7, she's reached that point for sure. By the time you get to season 7, she is a leader. By the time you get there, at this moment though, I can't think of like the moment or the episode.
All right.
To really dub.
So
Hominis Dominus, you are leader.
Yeah. Reformatting it a tiny bit, because we're talking about later on. How do these episodes prepare her for surviving on her own later? Because it's like, I think that being hunted is very congruent with, but what elements do you see?
Well, something that immediately comes to my mind when thinking about that is the Tales of the Jedi, little 3-episode arc for Ahsoka, which I feel like, and we're going to cover that later, obviously, but like goes hand in hand with this in that regard of like preparing her for what is to come. This, I think, is an important step in that, because she does have to learn to survive. And when she first shows up on the island here, she is very much like gung-ho, let's just get after it and get back to the Republic and yada yada yada. Well, it's like she gets that mentality and one of the younglings gets killed because of it, which, I mean, truthfully, I think kind of goes hand in hand with why she's not a leader yet, because she's not taking into account the risks quite yet in this arc. At least in the very first episode, that first episode of the arc, she's not accounting for what could happen to those she's trying to lead yet. I think this is an eye-opener for her of like, if I'm in this position, that means people can die. Like war is one thing, but this isn't war. Like I'm not at war right now here in this place. This is pure survival. It's not necessarily about killing my enemy. It's about staying alive.
Yeah. With these things, we talked about kind of the building block that this was in her leadership kind of journey. Do you think that if Anakin had found Ahsoka and rescued her on, what is that, Waska? I think is the name of the planet. Halfway through the episode, nonetheless, would that have made her weaker in the long run? Like, do you think this was significant in strengthening her survival abilities or her ability of being independent or possibly leader?
Um, sorry, what was the first part of the question?
I'll
If
just
the
phrase
Wookiees
it.
hadn't showed up.
I'll just read it as I have
Yeah.
written. If Anakin had found Ahsoka on Waska halfway through Padawan Lost, would rescuing her have actually made her weaker in the long run?
Mm. Yes. I think so, yes. Because it's halfway through Padawan Lost, she hasn't seen the ramifications of her gung-ho-ness, I guess. Like
Mm.
the other youngling hasn't died, which is a repercussion of her haste. And by that point as well, she hasn't had to try and think up a plan, try and formulate how to escape, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like if Anakin just showed up, then there's no lesson here. There's
Yeah.
no growth. There's no looking back on this experience and using that in a future situation. If anything, I think it would almost reinforce like a I don't need to figure it out, my master's got it for me type of mentality.
Mm.
Yeah. Which I don't think it would really change a whole lot in the grand scheme of things of like Order 66, because by the time you get to Order 66, she's already gone through so much other stuff. But I think
Yeah.
in the short term, with future battles and situations that Ahsoka finds herself in that kind of short term view, I think it would have affected her negatively if Anakin just showed up to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts you have? Hold them, because the cat just woke up my wife, and so I'm going to go get it. Anywho,
here's a question for you. I have my answer.
Yeah, what's up? Okay.
And I feel like you're gonna have the same answer, but I'm curious. In these two episodes, is Ahsoka more Anakin or Obi-Wan in this arc? Because she's taken some training from both. Like, obviously more from Anakin, but she's around Obi-Wan often enough he would be like almost like a second master for her, right? So is she more Anakin or Obi-Wan in this arc?
I feel like often Anakin is associated with kind of more reckless and disregarding rules.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, I don't think she really has any instances of that because the circumstances are different. So part of me wants to say Anakin, just from the element of survival. But I don't know.
See, I would go with Obi-Wan myself.
Hmm.
Because thinking about Anakin, like if I swapped out Ahsoka for Anakin in this, I feel like Anakin's just like force choke, push off the edge, force choke, snap neck. Like I feel like Anakin would just go, maybe not full blown dark side, but he wouldn't be as, I guess, like cautious. Or
Actually,
like
that's a good point, because looking at
like
how,
there's some instances where Ahsoka is just not passive, but she's like, hide, stay put, don't move, let him move on. And I feel like Anakin would just be like, nope, you're dead, you're thrown over there, I don't know what happened to you. Whereas like Obi-Wan, not necessarily that he would hide just immediately or anything like that, but I feel like Obi-Wan would be a little closer to Ahsoka in this, where it's like, let's just not kill them all outright. Let's try and find another solution to this.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just me taking Anakin in his entirety, not just where he's at in his story at this point into account. I don't know. But whenever I think about like putting Anakin in the situation versus Obi-Wan in the situation, I feel like Anakin it's just a bloodbath.
Yeah. Hmm. You got any other questions? Or comments that you want to bring up?
I have a question here, but I feel like I want to just phrase this not in the question form, as a question, but more of an observation. Ahsoka and the younglings in this arc, the amount of time the environment itself saved them from just getting killed. Just rewatching it today, I found it interesting and like just pure luck. Because there's a couple times where like the Trandoshans want to go in after him and try and get him, but all the trees and the shrubbery and whatnot are just so thick and wild that their speeders just can't get through, which allows the younglings and Ahsoka to escape. Which also I find intriguing on another aspect of the Trandoshans use this island to hunt. Why would they not keep it somewhat maintained to give them even more of an advantage? Because they're clearly not like looking for a fair fight by any means, like obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, why not give yourself even more advantage? Why not, clear out some of the underbrush a little bit so your speeders can get through?
Yeah.
It's not like they're going on like an African safari or something like that, or out into the woods to hunt some deer. Like they're abducting people and dropping them here to kill them.
Yeah.
If they just cleaned up the foliage a little bit, all 4 of them would have been dead, not just the one youngling.
Yeah. I mean, worked out for them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I don't have much more to say about that. I would make this super official. I want to make a motion to end the episode.
I'm just glancing through my last couple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Here, just to make sure. I don't think I have anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But one final question then, and then we can end off there. With this episode, and I'll preface it with this: Anakin's trials to become a Jedi Knight were untraditional.
Mm-hmm.
The Jedi have a traditional set of trials that apprentices go through before they're knighted. Anakin's was very untraditional, and just especially with just the way he became a Jedi and his upbringing and all that kind of stuff. Would this arc prove that Ahsoka is ready for the Jedi Trials already? She is young, like age-wise, you could probably say no, she's not, she's too young for the trials, but in terms of skill, survivability, all that kind of stuff, do you think she could be ready to at least attempt the trials at this point?
I would think probably she can handle herself pretty decent. Yeah. Now, yeah, I would think so.
I think I would agree, at the very least, on the physical side of the trials.
Yeah, and that's where I had a little bit of hesitancy.
Yeah, I think it's still kind of up in the air on like the mental, emotional side of Jedi Trials, because like those are supposed to be extremely difficult and not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. It's supposed to be a very challenging thing to prove yourself. I think physically she would be ready for the trials. I'm not sure about the mental, emotional part of it. But
yeah.
I think that's my last little discussion question for this.
All right, episode's done. Bye.
Deuces.